And we are back with Lewis and Clark, who are starring in New Bern Civic Theater's up-and-coming production of Catch Me If You Can. It opens this weekend. We had the full dress rehearsal, well, without makeup and hair last night, and wow.
It's really coming
It was
together.
a blast.
So much fun to see everything pieced together. Costumes always add a whole nother level, you know?
Costumes are crazy.
Yeah.
And that amps all the performers up even more because it makes them feel they're in the character.
Oh,
Well,
it's
there's
so fun.
the ensemble women have 64 pieces to keep track of. And about 80% of that is done in Act 1. We only have 2 appearances in Act 2. And so all of these costumes are pretty much in the beginning. And you also have some quick changes.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Yeah, but mine are all in Act 2, so we get to help each other.
Right. I know. I'm standing
I'll
backstage
help you
with
in Act 1, you help me in Act 2.
But it's a great production. I love it. I mean, I love the movie. So tell us what it's like for you. I mean, you're playing Frank Abagnale Jr.
Well, it's probably the most work I've done for a part before because it's so intensive. There's so many lines. I'm on stage almost the whole time. I think Derek, our director, calculated it up, and I'm probably off stage for about 8 or 9 minutes.
Wow.
Of the show altogether.
Wow.
So it was a lot of mental work as well for me.
And the thing about Frank Abagnale Jr. is he's posing as all these different occupations, a doctor, a pilot. So you have to embody an adult who's confident and everything, but deep down inside, you're still just a kid. And there are moments where you have to flip to being a 16, 17-year-old kid.
Yeah, really, he's just a runaway kid who's trying to find his place. And of course, he always reverts back to who he is naturally around the people who make him the most vulnerable, which is Abby's character. Abby's playing the love interest in the show. It's very hard to act like we're in love.
No, it's just
It's a stretch.
It's just really tough.
It's a stretch.
Well, actually, that's the question I wanted to ask was when the two of y'all are playing the young couple and you're going through those stages of meeting for the first time and falling in love, how do you, I know it's acting is what it is, but how do you do that? Like, how do you tap back into that original connection that you had?
Well, we act a lot anyway at the house, and she'll act like I've done something, and I'll act like I've done it sometimes.
This doesn't sound healthy.
Yeah.
This
We
doesn't
do
sound
though.
healthy
We
at
play
all.
around a lot at the
Of
house.
course.
Yeah, no, we still have kind of a flirty relationship, so that part's easy for me. What's tricky for me is there's a scene when I first meet him that I'm kind of turned off by him, because he's kind of this playboy character, and I'm kind of more reserved as a person, and so I just don't want to get involved, but he's really trying, and so I have to shut him down, and that's hard because I think he's really cute.
Well, tell us but enough about Vaughn. Tell us about some of the other performers, like Patrick Bliss.
Patrick is such a pleasure to watch on stage.
It is so much fun.
Yeah.
He's so entertaining,
I think he's got my favorite number in the show.
Yeah? Which song is that?
It's called "Don't Break the Rules."
I love dancing to that.
And
it's hard, but it's so much fun.
The dancing is beautiful, and he is just rocking. I mean, and his character is so much fun. He's kind of like, I don't even know how to describe Hanratty. He's an interesting character.
But honest cowboy geek.
Yeah, he's like kind of nerdy, but then in that song, he's just like, we're into it's just
such
great.
a real
He's like
good
Joe
jazzy.
Friday, but more befuddled.
Sure.
Yes. Yes.
And we have Nate Coles, who is playing your dad, Frank Abagnale Sr., and he is also one of our corporate sponsors as well, Coles Chiropractor. So thank you, Nate. With the blend of those voices, I tell you what.
I know.
Gets me
I
every
listen
time.
to Nate sing all day long. And the two of you together, it's just like, both you and Nate and you and Patrick. I mean, you have duets with both of them, and it's just like, I don't think we could have made that
perfection.
trio
No.
any better.
No.
It's just great.
Well, tell us about the music since we're talking about it so much. That's what I love about the show.
There's a lot of jazz music in there, big band, swing. We've got a pretty sizable orchestra too for the show. There's 60s-ish kind of rock and roll, some Phil Spector. It's going to be an eclectic piece in a whole, but there's going to be a lot of music that everybody in the audience will definitely gravitate to, and they'll be tapping their toes.
Yeah, there's really a wide variety. I mean, you've got a little bit of everything. No matter what your favorite style of music is, you'll get a taste of it, I think, in this show.
Right.
It's got everything from super big band kind of swing to like power ballads to kind of sexy rock and roll, like it's got everything.
One of my favorites is your solo, and the first time I heard it all the way through, in the audience we had our choreographer and some of the cast members and some of the crew who weren't, doing jobs, and they looked like little kids, just enamored by that voice of yours. I mean, no one was moving. They were all sitting there like this. Just a powerhouse of a performance, and every time we have to stop and listen to that beautiful voice of yours.
Thank you.
Such a little tiny thing, and that voice is just huge.
And she leaves it all on the stage in that number too. It's a huge number.
Yeah.
Well, that's the fun part of this role is like, she really doesn't make an appearance till the second act. She makes a big impression on Frank, gets to leave it all on the stage in that number, and
yeah, it's probably the best type of role to play, to be honest, because you just come on for these like really heartfelt, great raw moments and great huge numbers, and then you're done. Meanwhile, I'm on stage the whole time.
You've just got to wade through the entire swamp.
See, but I have to start the show on a very high note.
Oh yeah.
Vocally,
Literally.
this sits at the top, very tip-top of my range.
Right.
And so I have to start the show at that top of my range. And it's like, okay, where are we going now? Oh, well, we'll go a little higher, close to the end, and we'll try that.
Yeah.
And the show is interesting because it's told under the prism of a 60s variety show, and the set reflects that. I love the set.
Yeah.
Yes, it's very cool. It's a look into Frank's mind, really, and it's just a storytelling tool, the whole TV show concept.
I'll tell you what, we really struck gold with the two of you being cast in. You're perfect for the role. The chemistry obviously is there. You're extremely charismatic on stage. I mean, that flashing that smile, it's just very easy to see how Frank Abagnale Jr. got away with so much because of that smile on stage. And I get to flirt with you on stage, which I love.
Yeah, I'm watching you.
This is our first time on stage together.
After all these years, yes.
all
This
these
is the
years.
very first time that you and I have worked together. And I tell you what, it's just, I'm having a blast.
Me
Just
too.
having
And
a
this is the
blast
first
with it.
time you've been on a stage show here in New Bern since Dirty Rotten Scoundrels in 2012, right?
2012. That's
Yeah.
right. Yeah, with JP.
Yeah.
That's right.
I
That's
would
right.
do that show again.
Another crooner.
That's
The
right.
voices. Okay, so New Bern Civic Theater, Catch Me If You Can, opens this Friday and it runs for the next 3 weekends. So you can go to newberncivictheater.org to check out information on showtimes, how to get your tickets. The box office will be open today, Tuesday through Friday, 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. Stop in, get your tickets. It's one of those things, and I say it all the time, when I get that gut feeling that something's going to sell out, 99.9% of the time I am correct. I feel like this is a sellout. Please don't wait until the last minute. I'm really good at my job, but I can't create a seat for you. So secure your tickets. You can also call the box office with your credit card by calling 633-0567. This is an absolute fun, upbeat, heartfelt too, surprisingly. There's a lot of heartfelt moments in here, and it's just a joy to watch both of you on stage from the wings. That's my one regret about being in it, is I can't see it.
Yeah.
Well, in a moment, we're going to ask y'all to sing a song for the show, but before we do that, just give us a quick little, what's your favorite thing about this show?
Oh gosh.
You first.
I think just the people. This cast is just phenomenal. Watching the girls, some people who haven't done theater before,
Yes.
come on stage and just blossom, and getting to know people better and watching the community come together. It's just been a joy.
Yeah, I love seeing a huge ensemble come together because you rarely see that nowadays in a lot of musicals. And they're doing such a fantastic job.
Right. Yeah.
Okay. All right.
We
Well,
love-
then why don't
love
y'all
this
head
cast.
on over to the mic over there, and we're going to hear a song from the show. What's the title of the song?
It's called Seven Wonders.
7 Wonders is the song that we are going to hear them sing in just a moment. Abbey and Clark, or Clark and Vaughn and Lewis, all four of them.
Lewis and Clark.
All four of them.
Singing 7 Wonders from Catch Me If You Can.
I've been a lot of places. Yes, I've learned now near and far. where you are.
There's no need to run, 'cause home is where you are.
Yes, now I know that home is where you are. Don't forget the first 3 weekends in May.
Somebody give this to some chemistry. Lewis and Clark, everybody. Catch Me If You Can opens this Friday at New Bern Civic Theater, the first 3 weekends in May. The musical comedy based on the life and times of Frank Abagnale Jr. Come out and see him.
You're so cute. Oh, you're so cute. Just cute.